Finally, I've got you. Just me and you to the death, and I've got you now. Oh, no. Hello, and welcome to a new video. Today, we will be looking at the wonderful game known as Tales of Iron. Tales of Iron is a two-dimensional, Souls-like action role-playing game, released on the 17th of September 2021 by Old Bug Studios and published by United Label and CI Games. The game features a hand-drawn aesthetic, and let me tell you, dear viewers, how wonderful this aesthetic is. Each of the characters are wonderfully drawn, with one getting the sense there's an abundance of love and care when creating them. The same goes for the levels and screens which make up the backdrop for the game. There is a warmth and wholesomeness to the artwork that stands in contrast to the quite brutal and dark themes that run throughout. The colour palette reflects this. Even when levels do get grim and dingy and irrevocably dark, the game still exudes a nice kind of feeling. The game is set in a fictional fantasy world of anthropomorphic animals, with a focus set on the defense of the Rat Kingdom against the vile incursions of the Frog clans. You take on the role of Reggie, the young son of the King Rattus, first of his name, who united the Rat Kingdoms under one rule. When the king is suddenly slain, you must take up the mantle of monarch and defend your lands against the frogs and any other villainous creatures who wish to harm ratkind. The game has a wonderful start menu where you can select from various selections. Whether slot 1, 2 and 3, which do you wish to load a game. A settings menu where you can set various settings, controls, videos, audios, games, it's all there and wonderful. There's also extra bits with some honor and credits, and lastly, should you wish to, you can exit. And so, you begin as Reggie with simple armor and a sword and shield to defend your lands. As the game progresses, you will gain access to new and more powerful equipment in the vein of fancy new swords, maces, axes, and other medieval fantasy weaponry, with the odd surprise thrown in there too. Indeed, this is the main way in which to progress your character. There are no stats such as strength, dexterity, wisdom, etc., with Reggie's life bar being the only thing you can knowingly increase. This could be seen as a simplification of proceedings, but with regular equipment upgrades, I personally do not feel as though the game was worse without its inclusion. In fact, it is this same lack of fine-tuning which allows the player to tailor our whiskered hero to whichever style and or boss fight that you wish. One moment, you could be laden with bulky, heavy armor, able to take perilous blows from thy foe, but unable to move with any great finesse. Conversely, with the same Reggie, you could estray steel plates for some light fatigues, providing minimal protection but affording a more nimble approach to combat, dodging away from blows with ease rather than meeting the heavy attacks of the enemy straight on. The main gameplay of, well, the game involves exploring the kingdom both above and below ground, doing battle with evildoers, completing quests, and acquiring new items and equipment. This is a good pace set with a pretty regular acquisition of upgrades to your gear and challenging fights that will keep you on your toes throughout.
After his kingdom was safe.
And so we inevitably come to combat. Combat in Tales of Iron is not easy. It is difficult and challenging to say the least. If you've played any Souls-like game before, you should know what to expect. But in the same way that Souls-likes are difficult, it is downright brutal at times, but it never feels like it is overly unfair. Oh, this is so unfair. Why do I... Okay, oh, gosh. Oh, bugger. Right, okay. Oh, gosh. This game is so unfair! Why do I even play anymore? Why? Oh, gosh. Oh, bugger. Fights usually start with you, the player, learning the various patterns and behaviors of an enemy, figuring out the best way to counter them. There is a color system in use that helps to telegraph some of the enemy's moves. For instance, if they flash red, then the attack will need to be avoided through a dodge roll or run out of the way. A flash of yellow, on the other hand, suggests thy foe will be using a skill that could be parried with your shield or great weapon, which can briefly stagger an enemy, allowing you to get in some blows of your own. Although at times you may swear and curse at the screen, calling out foul play at the AI defeating you, on the whole, no enemy feels like they are completely unbeatable. With an active attempt to learn the enemy's various abilities and how to counter them, you can overcome even the most devilishly difficult bad guy.
He needed a place to recover.
The story itself is your classic hero's journey, and there's nothing wrong with that. It works wonderfully in this instance, where our hero Reggie begins the game as a seemingly quiet son of a king, yet to prove his worth. But as the game progresses, you feel more and more like a valiant, combat-hardened monarch, slashing, bashing, and gashing his way through the enemies of the land. Your home base, the Crimson Fort, is sacked at the very beginning of the game, meaning all the services it provides, such as a cook or a blacksmith, are unavailable. Reggie will venture out into the world, completing quests and securing the lands against the numerous foes that exist. This will usually result in the earning of gold coins, which are then used to repair at the keep. Should the player complete the main campaign and defeat the villainous Greenwort, there awaits further challenges for our hero. Developers have recently added some extra content for free that you can get your claws right into. This takes the form of a string of bosses in the arena that lays close to the Crimson Fort. Each fight will require having the use of every whisker you possess in defeating them. Should you stand victorious above them all, you receive a reward in the form of a key that opens a locked and inaccessible room in the keep. Do you like this game, then? Yes, I do very much like this game. The aesthetic, the combat, the story wonderfully narrated by the voice of the Witcher all add up to a joyful and well-rounded game. This is not to say that I would recommend this to everyone, though I would suggest giving it a go purely to experience the splendid world the developers have created. If you're not prepared to engage with the difficult combat, then you sadly may not enjoy the game. So, if you enjoy those Souls-like experiences and rodents, definitely give this game a go. And with that, dear sirs and madams, we come to the end of yet another video. Before I close the doors to the ancestral halls once again, I shall shamelessly plug the book again quickly. Also, dear viewers, if you enjoyed this video, could I ask that perhaps you subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thank you, and see you next time. Bugger.